Before the sun even thought about rising over Fairfax County, hit that subscribe button like it's the only thing standing between truth and silence. Millions of American parents are already locked in with us, because every new sub forces YouTube to shove this story into feeds that big tech tried to bury. If you've ever thanked God for your mom and dad, click it now. Belon. Let's ride. The day the parking lot became a battlefield started 24 hours earlier, on a Friday night that smelled like burnt clutch plates and teenage freedom. Marcus Washington was in the basement of the split-level house on Grady Lane, Woodbridge, Virginia, screaming into a headset while his father pretended not to hear the profanity leaking through the floorboards. Colonel Anthony Washington, retroceso, sat at the kitchen island in a VMI hoodie 2 decades old, cleaning the same Glock 19A they carried through 3 combat tours. The ritual calmed him. The house was quiet except for the muffled "let's go" every time Marcus dropped a 30-foot 3-2 Kelvin. Anthony glanced at the framed photo on the fridge, Marcus at age 8, missing both front teeth, saluting in a tiny set of ACUs his dad had tailored in Kandahar. Next to it, a newer picture, Marcus at 16, shaking hands with the FBI director at Quantico after winning the National Youth Leadership Essay Contest. The prompt had been simple: what does justice look like when no one is watching? Marcus wrote 7 pages about the night his father carried him out of a drive-by in Southeast DC when he was 4, bullets snapping overhead like angry hornets. The judges cried. The director personally pinned a challenge coin to the Keats hoodie. Upstairs, Marcus' phone buzzed with a text from his boy Trey, GameStop dropping the black chrome controller at 10 de la mañana tomorrow. 200 made. We camping or what? Marcus looked at the jar on his dresser, $378 in wrinkled 20s earned mowing lawns for old ladies who still called him baby. He needed $429. He fired back, I'm there at 6 de la mañana, tell security I'm sleeping on their doorstep. Across the Potomac, Officer Ryan Kessler was 3 beers deep at A Plebes in Manassas, surrounded by the same 5 guys who'd been his academy classmates 15 years earlier. They called themselves the Regulators. Their group chat had 2,847 unread messages, mostly videos of suspects eating pavement. Kessler posted the latest one at 11:47 de la noche, a 19-year-old college freshman face down outside a 7-Eleven for failure to signal. The caption, another future scholar meets gravity. 127 fire emojis. Kessler's ex-wife had taken the dog, the truck, and every weekend with his daughter. The only thing that still felt like control was the weight of the badge when he slammed someone smaller than him into the ground. He drained his beer, tossed a 20 on the table, and told the guys, tomorrow I'm finding me a viral moment. They laughed like hyenas. Saturday, 5:43 de la mañana. Marcus kissed his mom on the cheek. She was already up packing his dad's old army ruck with water bottles and a sandwich because my baby ain't waiting in no line hungry. Colonel Washington pressed $100 into his son's hand. Emergency cash. Don't spend it on sneakers. Marcus grinned. Too late, Ad. By 6:15, Marcus and Trey were first in line outside Westfield Montgomery Mall, hoodies up against the October chill, trading war stories about the time they got chased by geese at Burke Lake. Security rolled by in a golf cart, told them to keep it moving. Marcus just smiled, showed them the printed receipt from last year's drop, and said, we family now, Mr. Rick. The guard laughed and left them alone. At 9:59 de la mañana, the metal gate rattled up. The store manager personally handed Marcus controller almohadilla 0007/0200. The box was heavier than sin, wrapped in matte black with chrome triggers that cut the light like a blade. Marcus cradled it like a newborn. He FaceTimed his dad from the parking lot, look what your son just birthed into the world. Colonel Washington's laugh boomed through the speaker. Boy, you better be home by 6 or I'm selling it on eBay. That's when the Dodge Charger almost clipped him. Marcus never saw Kessler coming. 1 second he was floating on adrenaline, the next he was staring at the sky, lungs collapsed, world spinning. The first blow was the tackle. The second was the sound of his phone skittering away while his dad's name glowed on the screen. The third blow was realizing the man on his back wasn't trying to arrest him, he was trying to erase him. Kenil Washington was in the lead Suburban when the call hit. The convoy was escorting a Russian defector who they just handed over proof that half the East Coast power grid could be blacked out with a $400 drone from Best Buy. The witness was mid-sentence when Marcus' voice cracked through every headset in the vehicle. "Dad. I'm scared, please come quick." The Russian went white. The HRT team leader, a man named Ramirez who they once fast-roped into a hurricane to save Coast Guard swimmers, looked at the colonel and said, "Sir, say the word." Kenil Washington's reply was calm, almost gentle. "Drive it like you stole it, son." 90 seconds later, 3 Suburbans blew through a red light at 110 millas por hora, hidden strobes painting the interstate red and blue. Ramirez was on the radio to Quantico, Priority 1 Family Emergency, HRT en route to Westfield Montgomery, weapons tight but hot. Clear the mole now. Back in the parking lot, Kessler had Marcus' arm twisted so high the kid's shoulder screamed. A woman in Lululemon was openly weeping. A Marine in dress blues was filming, muttering, "Desainte right. Someone shouted, "Es got asthma." Kessler answered by grinding his knee harder. Then the wind shifted. You don't hear HRT arrive, you feel it. A pressure drop, like before a tornado. The Suburban slid in sideways, doors opening mid-slide. 10 operators fanned out in a perfect crescent, rifles up, lasers painting Kessler's forehead like he was bin Laden in Abbottabad. Ramirez's voice cut through the chaos like a guillotine. "Federal agents. Release the manor or we will release you." Kessler's hands shot up so fast he punched himself in the face. Marcus rolled onto his back, gasping, staring up at men in plate carriers who looked like superheroes from a movie his dad never let him watch. One of them, Agent Park, Korean-American, built like a refrigerator, knelt and whispered, "Hey, little man, we got you. Breathe for me." Marcus managed a nod. Then he saw his father. Kenil Washington crossed the kill zone in 4 seconds flat, dropping to his knees and pulling Marcus into his chest like he was 4 years old again. The boy's sobs were animal, bro, the sound every parent prays they never hear. Anthony rocked him, whispering, "I'm here, baby. Daddy's here. Ain't nobody touching you again." Ramirez zip-tied Kessler with the same hands that had cuffed warlords in Fallujah. "You picked the wrong kid on the wrong day, Buddy. The Mal's Wi-Fi crashed from too many uploads." By the time Marcus was in the back of an ambulance, Almohadilla Justice for Marcus was the #1 trend worldwide. Elon Musk quote-tweeted the video with one word, "disgusting." The White House press secretary was on the phone with the Attorney General before the 4 was in Marcus' arm. But the story wasn't over. It was just getting started. Sunday morning, 0600. Colonel Washington sat in the hospital room, still in yesterday's clothes, holding his son's hand while Marcus slept off the morphine. The door opened. FBI Director Christopher Wray walked in alone, no entourage, loosened. He looked at the colonel, then at the boy with the cracked cheekbone and the purple bruises blooming across his ribs. "Tony," the director said, "voice rough, whatever you need. Name it." Anthony never looked up. "I want the names of every cop in that WhatsApp group. I want their body cam footage. I want their mamas to see what they do when they think nobody's watching." Bray nodded. "Already in motion. But there is something else." He placed a folder on the tray table. Inside was a single sheet, Marcus' official invitation to the Attorney General's award ceremony, now moved up to Tuesday because the president wanted to personally apologize on national television. Marcus stared. His eyes fluttered open, found his dad, then the director. He tried to sit up, winced. "Sir, did I miss the ceremony?" Bray smiled for the first time in days. "Son, the ceremony is coming to you. Manda, 3 de la tarde." The leak dropped like a Moab. Someone, nobody ever found out who, dumped the entire regulator's WhatsApp chat to WikiLeaks, 47,000 mensajes, 2,000 videos, timestamps, GPS data. By 3:15, CNN had a Sharon, barrel cop part of secret, Rogride, Rin, 23 officers implicated. Kessler's face was everywhere. His high school yearbook photo. His wedding photo. The video of him teaching his daughter to ride a bike, irony so thick you could chew it. His union rep went on TV and said, "We do not condone," before the anchor cut him off with the next video, Kessler laughing as he tossed a 72-year-old grandmother for abstracting. Tuesday, 11 de la mañana. Marine One landed on the south lawn. Marcus walked down the steps on crutches, FBI hoodie swallowing his frame, medal already pinned to his chest by the Attorney General inside the Oval. The president hugged him like a grandfather. Cameras caught the exact moment Marcus whispered, "Sir, can we make sure this never happens to another kid?" The president's answer was caught on a hot mic, "Son, we're gonna burn the whole damn tree down to make sure." That afternoon, Congress introduced the Marcus Washington Police Accountability Act, mandatory 8K body cams with AI that auto-uploads if tampered with, federal oversight for any department with more than 3 excessive force settlements, and a national database of officers fired for dishonesty. It passed the House 415-2 by Friday. But the deepest cut came from Marcus himself. 3 weeks later, the boy who couldn't walk for 10 days stood on the stage at the Kennedy Center in a tux that cost more than his dad's first car. The Marcus Washington Foundation Gala raised $47 million in one night. Jay-Z and Beyoncé sat in the front row. LeBron sent a video message from the locker room, jersey sign, "To my little brother, keep dunking on hate." Marcus took the mic. "No notice. I was supposed to be dead that day," he said, "boy steady. Or at least broken enough to stay quiet. But my dad taught me broken bones heal, broken spirits don't. So it is what we're doing with every penny. 10,000 kids, black, brown, white, poor, doente matter, get full-ride scholarships to college if they pledge to become the kind of cops who protect instead of punish. And every single one of them will spend a year wearing a body cam that live streams to a server my dad's old unit guards with their lives." The room erupted. Kenneth Washington stood in the wings, tears sliding into his beard, prouder than the day he pinned on his eagle. 6 months later. Kessler took a plea, 15 years, no parole. The regulators became the biggest RICO case against law enforcement in American history. 23 cops, 3 sergeants, 1 deputy chief. All inside a federal supermax by Christmas. Marcus graduated high school with a 4.7 GPA and offers from every Ivy League school. He chose Howard. "Gotta stay close to home," he told the recruiters. "My dad's still on speed dial." Every year on the anniversary, 10 black Suburbans roll into the Westfield Montgomery parking lot at exactly 2:17 de la tarde, the minute the tackle happened. They park in a circle, engines off. Marcus steps out with his dad. They lay a wreath where his blood stained the asphalt. Then Marcus hugs each agent, one by one. The same 10 men, every year. They call him Captain now, because he outranks them in every way that matters. And every year, without fail, a new plaque appears on the mall wall. In memory of the day America almost lost a hero. Never again. Marcus Aurelius Washington, age 17. The Controller? Still in the box. Untouched. On the shelf in his dorm room, right next to the Medal of Freedom the president hung around his neck when he turned 18. Because some things are worth more than gameplay. Now I need every single one of you to flood the comments. Where are you watching from right now? Drop your city, your state, your flag. Texas, Florida, New York, Montana, doente matter, this story is bigger than any border. And if this moved you even a little, smash that subscribe button so hard YouTube feels it in Silicon Valley. We're a million strong and growing every second. See you in the next one.